Welcome to Operational Energy Training, the Basics. Operational energy. What is it? Operational energy is the energy and associated systems, information, and processes required to train, move, and sustain forces and systems for military operations. Operational energy incorporates elements of soldier, basing, and vehicle power. It is a key enabler for operations, essential for combined arms maneuvers, and required for soldier sustainment.
Energy awareness ensures we have the power and energy needed to fulfill our mission. From the fuel it takes to power our vehicles to the impact of climate change, we must take action by making energy a consideration in everything we do. I am asking each of you to become a champion of change by changing our energy culture. Become aware, take action. The power is in your hands.
The call for action. As we operate across the spectrum of missions, we must conserve energy and reduce risk. Energy consumption is a burden on the unit as well as a huge funding and resource requirement. Most importantly, it leaves our operations vulnerable. Every time we deliver fuel or batteries on the battlefield, we put soldiers at risk. As volumes increase, more storage is required, making our forward operating bases larger and harder to protect. We are examining every way possible to be more effective with our energy use, to employ renewable resources and lower our costs. All of this will reduce the number of convoys on the roads. But it requires us to change our behavior. When soldiers start thinking, how can I use energy smarter? We know we are on our way. Energy conservation measures. In some cases, it may be efficient to introduce energy conservation into the power management program. Measures such as enforcing temperature settings, limiting use of certain items, and designing structures for energy efficiency may reduce the overall electrical load required. While most of these measures would be adopted for base camps at the higher end of the standard scale, some measures, such as providing insulation for tents and limiting power use to certain items, can be implemented at all standard levels. Operation Energy Goals. 1. Reduced energy consumption. 2. Increased energy efficiency across platforms and facilities. 3. Increased use of new renewable and alternative. 4. Assured access to sufficient energy supplies. 5. Reduced adverse impacts on the environment. Base camp principles. Thorough planning process leads to successful base camp principles. These principles are scalability, sustainability, standardization, survivability. Scalability. Contingency operations are inherently uncertain. The size, composition, and positioning of forces are continuously adjusted based on mission requirements. Base camps must be able to accommodate these often unpredictable demands and remain responsive to the commander's needs. Scalability is the ability to tolerate population fluctuations and incorporate changes in the level of capabilities without the need for redesign. Solutions remain efficient and practical whether a base camp becomes larger or smaller. Sustainability. Base camps must be sustainable. This means that base camps achieve and sustain effectiveness within the means of available resources. Materials, labor, energy, and funds, without placing unnecessary strain on existing sustainment systems. Sustainability is primarily achieved through minimizing demand and cost-effective consumption of resources. Standardization. Standardization of base camp policy, service standards, guidance, system solutions, standard designs, and construction provides consistent expectations for commanders and drives repetitive use of proven best practices and TTP. It helps achieve a higher degree of sustainability, reliability, and efficiency. Standardization also reduces uncertainty in meeting mandatory requirements and provides for more accurate estimates of materials, scheduling, and cost. Survivability. A primary purpose of base camps is providing a protected location from which to project and sustain combat power. Base camps depend on the application of effective protection strategies that is generally achieved by developing a comprehensive protection plan consistent with the principles of protection articulated in ADRP 3-37. Base camps must be equally prepared to protect against the effects of hostile actions and non-hostile activities or environmental conditions such as fire, floods, and earthquakes. These principles are not a set of rigid rules, nor do they apply in every situation. They should be applied with creativity, insight, and boldness. Base camp standards. Organic unit equipment. Military units are generally equipped with a limited number of power generators. Most of these generators range from 3 to 10 kilowatts and are designed to support CP operations and provide a limited amount of power for items such as unit light sets. While other larger generators, generally ranging from 30 to 100 kilowatts, are available, they are normally dedicated to the operation of specific equipment items and facilities. For example, water purification units, radars, and facilities such as field hospitals. This limited amount of power generation capability should only be depended on for base camps constructed to the organic standards. It should be replaced where possible by more substantial systems as soon as they become available. Prime Power. The Army's 249th Engineer Battalion, Prime Power, can provide a limited amount of power generation capability for both military operations and civilian emergencies. Prime Power platoons can develop up to 3 megawatts of power, and they have a limited capability to construct and repair overhead power distribution systems. They are also able to provide the expertise needed to conduct power studies, determine power requirements, and develop distribution plans. Commercial generators. Once a base camp is established, commercial generators are the most common means of providing power. These generators, whether purchased directly by military units or provided by contractors, produce power to support all aspects of base camp life, thereby freeing up military generators to focus on specific unit requirements. Commercial generators employed in base camps are usually arranged with a generator supporting a specific facility, such as a DFAC, or a group of facilities, such as a block of housing units. In some circumstances, a large generator may provide power to an entire base camp via an electrical distribution system. Military base camp sets. The military employs modular base camp sets, such as Force Provider and Harvest Falcon, to establish base camps on short notice. These pre-configured sets include generation capability sufficient to support the anticipated base camp size. Developing technology. Various initiatives are underway to develop improved electrical generation and distribution systems. Some of these include the use of LED lighting, solar shades, energy-efficient liners, and energy-saving door systems. In addition, battery fuel cells, wind, solar alternatives, and microgrid systems that control the distribution and generation of electrical power are also under development. These systems, when fully matured, may make it possible to reduce the sustainment requirements associated with providing electrical support to base camps. Existing power grids. With assistance from the 249th Engineer Battalion, Prime Power, it may be possible to power base camps using existing civilian power grids in well-developed countries with adequate electrical distribution systems. This may prove to be more efficient and reliable than generator systems. However, certain host nation restrictions may apply. If the network will not support the additional load, the public perceives that U.S. forces are using resources they need. If the threat level is high, using the existing network may not be a viable option. The focus of operational energy is to ensure that the armed forces will have the energy resources they require to meet 21st century challenges. These measures, principles, and standards will provide the means to field a stronger, more resilient, and expeditionary force. Operational energy. The power is in your hands.